Shanghai is voted the favorite Chinese city by foreign nationals living in China, but the disastrous COVID lockdown has prompted the French consulate and the British embassy to raise their concerns in writing to Chinese authorities. The United States has ordered all non-essential employees at its Shanghai consulate to leave. The Japanese Consul General wrote to the Shanghai deputy mayor, requesting to lift the lockdown immediately. A recent social media post asked local people to donate food to the staff members in the Japanese consulate in Shanghai, as they had only instant noodles left. China's zero-COVID policy is so unpopular, but why does Beijing hold on to it without letting go? Hi everyone, I'm Lei. Welcome to my show. A few weeks into the lockdown, garbage disposal, sewage clog, and septic tank overflow are the new concerns threatening Shanghai. Communities in Shanghai have received a notice from authorities warning them of no sanitation workers during the lockdown and asking people to cut down their food consumption, despite the fact that many are hungry and don't have food to eat. Students at Tongji University have to make an appointment to use the bathroom and were told not to wash hands, but to use an alcohol swab instead. One famous Shanghai resident, Taiwan-born economist Larry Lan, whom I featured in a few of my programs, praised China's massive testing and COVID policy a few days before losing his mother to the lockdown. Larry's mother waited 4 hours in the emergency room for the result of her COVID test before she passed away. She had come for a shot to treat her chronic kidney problem. According to official statistics, 14,000 people in Shanghai seek dialysis every week. About 500,000 cancer patients in Shanghai need monthly, if not weekly, care. The city also has 5.9 people who have cardiovascular and heart diseases. Millions more have other conditions that require medical attention, such as asthma, diabetes, and pregnancy. The zero-COVID policy has reduced their access to medical care to zero. Some people ask why Chinese regime insists on the zero-COVID policy. Why can't they accept to coexist with Omicron? The answer is very simple. Communists don't accept the idea of coexistence with any opponent. When they feel threatened, they will go all out to eliminate them, whether they are people, ideas, philosophies, or a virus. The zero-COVID policy is to stamp out COVID and cancel the virus. Do you know where the cancel culture comes from? It comes from the communist ideal of you die, I live struggle with anyone with different ideas. The CCP's approach to the pandemic has been total cancellation from day one. After missing the window of time to control the outbreak in Wuhan and allowing the virus to spread worldwide, the CCP used a heavy-handed approach to lock down Wuhan and other parts of China. When the pandemic quickly spread in Europe and North America, Western governments more or less adopted the CCP's approach. They learned from Beijing and issued lockdowns and mask mandates. Some adopted vaccine passports. But not everyone in the West can accept this approach. Some protested their government's mandates. The CCP seized the opportunity to laugh at the democratic world for their lack of ability to control the people and the virus. They propagated the idea that personal freedom is detrimental to the battle against the virus. Didn't some people in the West, including some politicians and media people, have also adopted this view? China's reported COVID cases have been very low. Since no one knows the actual number, many people have accepted China's official numbers as being true. This unfortunately gave people inside and outside China the false impression that the CCP's approach to COVID, the zero-COVID approach, is superior. Then Omicron came. Omicron is said to be highly contagious but less potent. Western governments realized that their economies would suffer if they were to continue their previous approach, and their people would lose patience. So they changed to a coexistence strategy. But not the CCP. Think about it. After almost 2 years of ridiculing the United States for being the country having the most COVID cases, how could the CCP side with the United States and accept coexistence with Omicron? They can and won't. Regarding Omicron, the regime told the Chinese people that the West doesn't know how to handle it, and coexistence is their do-nothing and lie flat approach. The CCP claims that they know how to cancel Omicron. In actuality, they don't know how. So their approach is to cancel the people who might have it. The cornerstone of the zero COVID policy is mass testing. The amount of tests Chinese citizens receive is nonsensical. Here's what a Shanghainese guy said about the mass testing.
多哥已经差不多连着做了10几天核酸了，我也已经很郁闷，而且我是做了11天核酸，大概现在到为止连续我说的是连续我已经连续做了11次核酸了，而且是到楼下做核酸，11次核酸，包括昨天4月13号出来的结果都是阴性。可是我实在他妈的搞不懂，我今天14号，我早上做的自测，我下午又得去做核酸了，我感觉我太痛苦了。现在有很多人都跟多哥一样的心情，就是认为本身是没问题的，可是就这么去做都做出问题出来了，就不停的去做。
The continuous massive testing in a city of 25 million is exhausting to the medical staff. Some collect samples non-stop for 8 hours. This became hazardous. Here is a video from Jilin province. Watch how the woman uses the same swab on 2 different people.
是一个啥呢？是一个演习模拟，主要是走程序，走这个排队检测的程序，不是实际检测。
Why is the CCP so adamant about repeated mass testing? The mass testing identifies all those who are positive or who might be positive. The CCP has built large isolation camps to lock up everyone who may have COVID. These people are removed and isolated. Isn't that what cancel culture is all about? Once a city has all of its positive people removed from the community, it has achieved the glorious zero COVID status. As to how or whether these COVID-positive people recover and return to a normal life, that's a secondary consideration. Cancel culture has the same goal and operates in the same way. Those who may pose a threat are identified as quickly as possible and then separated and isolated. The essence of cancel culture is that its enforcers cannot tolerate or coexist with anyone who is different. Cancel culture is a Western term and the Chinese don't use it, but it has already become part of Chinese culture today. One Shanghainese shared a story on his social media blog. He said the people in his building decided to coexist with the virus and not isolate and remove anyone who tested positive. However, this upset the people in other buildings in the community, and they intended to cancel the building that adopted coexistence. They said they would impose economic sanctions on the coexistence proponents by kicking them out of the group that helps people in the neighborhood to get food. The coexistence proponents, however, fought back, saying they would all become community volunteers, going to every building and everywhere. According to the Post, the threat worked, and the people in the other buildings shut up. Some people have referred to communist tactics as the rule of the jungle and survival of the fittest, and that's actually how it is. I don't think what's happening in Shanghai is unique to Shanghai. It has happened across China in the past 2 years. We didn't hear about it because it was covered up and censored. But Shanghai is different. As I said, Shanghai has a 100-year history of being a westernized Chinese city. The city also has hundreds of thousands of foreign residents. It's difficult to silence them. Another reason is that some factions within the CCP want the world to see the chaos in Shanghai with the intention of making trouble for their political opponent. Xi's situation isn't pretty. If he steers away from zero COVID, he's denying his previously claimed success, and his political enemies will use it against him. If he doesn't, the situation in Shanghai will be too ugly to clean up. Some people say he might have been ill-advised by his medical advisors. Scientific freedom is limited within the CCP system, and experts who stick to scientific principles may be suppressed. Many choose only to say things that are politically correct. I don't think the zero COVID policy will go away quickly, but I think Chinese people are fed up. When their right to food and the freedom to use the bathroom is controlled, they have nothing to lose and aren't afraid. I hope people like Larry Lam will wake up and think twice before praising the CCP's policies again. That's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.